Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Furniture Painters Unite Spotlight members interview. That's a mouthful. And today we are blessed and honoured to be joined by the wonderful Crys Dawna from Bella Renovare by Crys Dawna. Hello.
Hello. Hey.
Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
I'm very excited about this one because I'm a huge fan and I've been following you for some time. But for anyone who doesn't know you, we want to find out today all about you, all about your amazing journey and where it has brought you and where it's taken you in the future. So if you wouldn't mind, Crys Dawna, telling everyone how you got started as a furniture artist and what... Oh, sorry, I've messed up already. How you got started as a furniture artist and what the industry was like at that time.
Okay, so I started with when I lived in Italy for 4 years. So I've always been kind of a DIYer. I've always had, liked art, things like that. But when we had moved back from Italy, so we lived there for 4 years, and then we moved back to the US. And we had bought a house, and I was pregnant with my son. I had a little girl. She was like about to turn 4. So my kids are exactly 4 years apart. And I said, we need this hutch. Like, we need a big piece of furniture. And so we went and found one in like a garage somewhere, and I painted it. I'm not proud of this, but I painted it white. Was the first piece that I painted.
Well, you're very brave. That was like a baptism of fire then, really.
Yeah, I know. And so, my husband really liked it. It was a piece that was really beautiful. And I just kind of was like, man, I really like this. And so I started painting more for my house. And then my husband was the one that was like, you should just do this as like a business, like paint some furniture and put it on Facebook Marketplace and see what happens. And at that time, I was like, no, people don't do that. People don't sell furniture like that. Well, I was wrong. I stand corrected now. But that's how it started. And I really didn't know anything about this industry. And now we're going on, that was 7 years ago-ish.
Wow, yeah.
And I really didn't know a lot. People weren't helping each other. There wasn't tutorials. There wasn't, these groups. The groups that there were, it was like, we'll help you with your staging, but you can't ask people what colors they use, things like that. And so it was totally different.
Do you think that's an American thing? Do you think that's an American, because it's so fiercely competitive and there's so many? Do you think that's an American thing to withhold information, or?
I think so. I think sometimes, and I can respect this, I think for some people as artists, it's very personal to them. And so they never go into it wanting to share and teach. This is more for them. There's a lot of people who do this for their mental health, and it's not about, and so I can respect that. I am a teacher, right? So I enjoy teaching. I enjoy inspiring. I enjoy sharing, encouraging people. And so I am like, oh, I will teach you all the things that I know, but I've always been that way. So I was a Girl Scout leader. I was a softball coach, volleyball coach. Like that's my personality, is a giver, a coach, mentor type, whatever. Yeah. And so, I started kind of I had a booth. I was a retailer for different paint companies. So I used to sell paint companies in a booth. I used to travel. So I'm not quite sure if they have this in the UK, but in the US, they have these vintage shows. So you pay to have a booth, and then you bring your furniture or whatever it is. And it's like a weekend thing, and people come, they pay to get tickets to come in. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, we don't really have that. No, we wouldn't have like that as like a traveling thing, or once a year we have a sort of a home exhibition, maybe once a year, but we wouldn't have pop-up things that we could set up all the time. It wouldn't be something that's here.
Yeah. So that's kind of what you said, like a pop-up kind of exhibition where there's different companies. So there's like the Vintage Whites, which is a company that travels around the United States and sets up different spots. There's one Vintage Market Days. They do that. And
Okay.
so, it's different companies that do it. And so I would do stuff like that. And then I started, so I worked with Dixie Belle I was a retailer for them, but then they started kind of onboarding a brand ambassador type program and
Oh
things
yeah.
like that. And I was going to leave because we were getting orders from, it's a military thing. So we were told that we had to leave the US, Wyoming, and move to Germany.
Yeah, because you're married to a pilot.
Yeah, so he's Air Force. And so I said, hey, I'm not going to be able to, I don't know where we're going to go. Well, at first we didn't know where we were going to go. And I said, when you're a retailer, you don't know where you're going to go, if you're going to be able to carry it. And so I started kind of dabbling a little bit in social media, and they said, hey, if you can get your numbers here as an influencer, then maybe we can bring you on as a brand ambassador.
Cool.
And so, yeah, so that's, I had to work really hard to get those numbers to kind of prove, okay, this is the direction I want to go. But then, I was able to be a brand ambassador, and I was with them for, I don't know, 4 years, 4 years, something.
That's a long time. That's a big commitment, and it's a long time. But it seemed to be fun. That's where I found you would have been through the Dixie Belle Lives and stuff that they do, and it seemed to be a great gig. It was fantastic for someone. Yeah, it's definitely a great opportunity. For
I learned a lot of really good stuff. I learned a lot of, I learned how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable in front of the camera and doing lives and kind of just letting things roll. I've got 2 small kids, so sometimes my kids would run into the thing, and I learned a lot of really good things about marketing and how to market yourself. So there were a lot of really good things that I learned from having that position.
I get that. I understand that, how it sort of cements you as a professional, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
When you're representing a company and they're putting their faith in you, then it sort of cements that what you're doing. It's a profession. It's not, you're not just dabbling. You're very serious about it. So that's great. And then Redesign with Prima. I think Redesign with Prima's products. I know you do some work with them. I think their products was what brought me back to furniture painting after maybe 10 years away from it. Was I saw one of their transfers one day, and I just thought, oh my! Yeah. And it wasn't that I thought, oh, I can be lazy, but I thought, wow, I can be lazy.
Yeah,
I can just do the background.
They've evolved a lot too. I worked with them at first, and then. A lot of the companies wanted exclusivity and stuff, and you kind of had to choose what path you were going on. And then, I stepped back from the brand ambassador role with Dixie Belle, which gave me, the opportunity to work with other companies. And so I was able to come back to Prima, and they, welcomed me with open arms, said, hey, we would love to work with you. Yeah. But it's amazing to have watched their growth, because they had first started and they were doing this, and now they're doing, they've got all these other products. They've got Cece has got her designs, and it's been really cool to watch them kind of pave their way into the furniture painting industry and how it's kind of evolved.
And with Cece, especially respecting her and letting her have her own collection, which is a dream. It's a dream for any furniture artist to be able to get their own line manufactured that they've designed. That's a legacy. I think that's a legacy. No matter what she decides to do with her life, she's leaving a legacy.
Is she has a background in graphic design, so she literally designs every single thing. It's not like someone helps her; it's her doing it. So that makes it even more special. I think that she really, adds all those little things.
I could see her. I could actually see that in her. Yeah. She's amazing. She's absolutely just a hero. She's amazing. I love her.
Yeah, she is. She's fun.
Yeah.
I just sent her a secret package. She didn't know it was coming because I have her address in my Amazon shop. And so I just went in. I was like, I'm thinking about her. I'm going to send her something. So I sent her a few little, I think it was a little tiny Bob Ross doll, because her and I had done a live together where I had a pink wig on that was pink Bob Ross, and she had the brown wig. And so, what happened?
I don't know.
Oh, can you say me? Okay. I think my alarm is going off for our interview from before. Our time from before. Hold on. Let me see if I can turn it off. That way it doesn't interrupt us again. Hold on. Where is it? Okay. There we go. I turned it off, so it won't do that again. But yeah, so I sent her a little gag gifts, kind of like, I'm thinking about you. Hey,
Yeah.
So she wrote me, she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you sent those. So
yeah, no, she's I think in particular she just shows what you can do.
Yeah, she is phenomenal. I agree.
Yeah, when you reach for the stars, you can just see her face and go, right, she can do it. Even if I fall short, I'm still it would still be good to get some sort of where she is a bit.
Yeah.
So you were in Italy.
Yes,
and
I lived in Italy for 4 years.
Yeah, yep. And then you were saying because being a retailer, you didn't know where you were going to be, and then you got the social media, and you became a brand ambassador, and this is all within a very short space of time, isn't it? Really?
Yes, it was. It's like been a crazy in 7 years. If I could talk about the whole process of everything and moving and where I've been and trying to rebuild, because honestly, I went to Italy. I had to build my business as Bella Renovare, and because I do custom work too.
Yeah.
So it's not all, people see the social media aspect, but I have clients behind the scenes, and sometimes you don't see everything I do. So to me, I try to really stick to stuff that's going to speak to people. And I may have someone that's like, hey, I need you to do a whole bedroom set with just flat black. Well, that's, I'm like, I could share one thing. So there's a lot of times where I'm working on multiple things behind the scenes and people don't even realize it. Like I'll finish the whole set and
that's right. When you're quiet, you're actually not quiet. You're just busy.
Yes.
Doing other things. And then so in Italy, you had to build yourself back up in Italy.
So from Italy, we went to the States. So I had to build my self back up in Wyoming.
Right.
And then we, 3 years later, I had built my business up 3 years. Yeah. And then 3 years later, I had to come here to Germany, is where I live now, and rebuild everything up.
Yeah, everything again. So you're the master, the queen of rebuilds.
Yes, and now we will be leaving here in February, and we're going to move back to the States, to Maine, and I'm going to have to rebuild everything again. So.
Although I think that hopefully it'll be easier when you get back to the States, because I didn't know you were in Germany. I thought you were still in the States, and I had seen. We're going to talk about the Painters Business Academy in a bit, but I had seen that you're going to in Bulgaria. You're going to another one.
Yes.
And I did think, wow, she's just flying from America to Britain to Bulgaria. I didn't realize that you were in Germany. So
yeah, well, before COVID, so what happened was I lived in Germany, and before COVID happened, I actually flew and did a redesign with Dixie Belle thing, and it was right outside of Los Angeles. So I flew from Germany to Los Angeles. This is all within like a year. And then later on, a few months later, I flew to Atlanta from Germany. And then I flew from Germany to Tampa, Florida. And then I was supposed to go to Dallas, but everything locked down. And so I have done a lot of traveling from Germany back to the US. And then this year, I just traveled from Germany back to Florida, to Tampa, to do the masterclass with Daydream. And then I'll fly over to, the UK to do the Business Academy. And then I'll fly in October to Bulgaria. So I really...
And did you think when you bought that hutch and that tin of white paint and painted that hutch white 7 years ago, did you think that this is a career that is going to enable me to travel the world?
No.
No, you just don't.
Even if you asked me a month ago about the new adventure that I'm on right now, I would have said, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we're going to get straight into that now. So you mentioned that you went to Daydream Apothecaries and masterclass in Florida. Now, if I could have, I would have been there in a heartbeat.
Oh, you would have loved it. We're going to do more, so don't worry.
Yeah, because my friend Ada went, and so I had lots of friends there that, so I do Ada Franco from With Love Furniture.
Yeah, I love her.
And Cheryl Tosi from JJB Design, and Oh,
Cheryl
Aga.
took really good care of us. She actually got me some water. Like, I really like seltzer water. And
Yeah.
she went to the grocery store and she was like, "Do you
Bless
need
her.
anything?"
She is a
Yeah,
mother. She is
she
a, she's
is.
a carer and a mother, and she does make sure everybody's all right.
Yeah, she's wonderful. She's
And
really,
Aga, who from Aga.
yeah,
So I was watching it going, oh, I wish I was there because all my friends are there and I'd like to be there.
yes.
And
Yeah,
I
they were, I got to see them all. And I agree. I
and
loved all of
Charlie.
them.
Charlie Massey. So
Yeah.
yeah, so you were there, which is brilliant. And the journey. Well, I followed the journey of you. I watched some of the lives, and I saw the amazing pieces that all the different artists painted, and that were all auctioned off. And I mean,
Yes.
what a fantastic weekend! It looked like a brilliant experience. It really did.
It was a lot of fun. I will say, so the big armoire that I did, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really, so I kind of showed them how to do kind of like a contour blend,
Yep.
and they rolled with it. And I really didn't adjust that piece very much.
Oh, fair. Oh,
I
right.
kind of
Okay.
did like a little bit of like a purple wash over it, but that really came to fruition with everybody putting their hands on it. So I
Oh,
can't really
wow.
take credit for it because it really
Well,
was something that everybody who
it
attended
looked,
had.
yeah, it looked amazing. It really
Yeah.
did.
They did awesome. I was like, just go to town. And I was like, man, I don't. And it's funny because when you're in a room full of such talent, I was like, man, I don't know if I belong here. These people are amazing.
Oh no, well you definitely belong there, but I wouldn't like to have been one of the people that had to get up and try and teach them something.
Yeah, right. I was like, what am I here to teach you guys? You
I
guys
would
are
teach you.
amazing. I don't. It is kind of intimidating when you do have so many amazing artists, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what can I teach them? Because like I know that they've got a lot to teach me, and so yeah, it's a little bit intimidating. But
Although you have your style, I think that's one of the hardest things. I don't know if you'd agree, is when you start out trying to find your style, trying
yes,
to find the thing that you love doing, that
yes,
you're good at, and that people look all straight away and go, that's one of Crys Dawna's. That has to be one of Crys Dawna's, So
yeah,
you have that nailed down, which is fantastic. And then the Daydream Apothecary team, aren't they just wonderful? Those girls are
yes,
just
yes.
lovely girls. And then you had an announcement just after that. So go on, tell everyone.
Yes. So I have been working with Daydream since January. I was creating content for them. I was a content artist for Daydream. And I became really close with them. I just loved what they were doing, how they were giving people creative freedom. After the show, I think, it's the 1-year anniversary of Daydream, and Becca and Natasha, who are the owners, they kind of knew in order for us to grow, they're going to need more hands on deck.
Yeah.
And because it's such a beginning business, it was you either pivot and you hire CMOs, or you bring more people in that you trust that have shown you that they have good intentions for the business. And so after the show, it was, hey, Crys Dawna, listen, we really would like to expand ownership, and we want you and Llewellyn to be owners. And I was like, what? And so,
What's happening?
and it's all, everyone's like, oh my gosh, you were like Fort Knox. But I was like, I mean, there's the unfun stuff, like the legal paperwork and stuff that you have to do, and make sure, the business side is, each person, you have to invest in the company. You have to buy in so that
Obviously,
there's not like animosity. Like I couldn't just come on board and be like, I'm here. I bring myself,
I have arrived.
So there was a couple business things that we had to do. And then finally we were like, all right, let's announce it. And so it's super exciting. So Natasha Shea, she actually used to be an Annie Sloan stockist for a really long time.
I didn't know that.
Yes, she's actually a phenomenal artist. And I keep trying to get her to show her stuff because she is, you would love her art.
Yeah.
But she used to own a company called Love Street. And so
that's the doors. Just
yeah.
like the doors.
Yeah. So she was kind of like, I want to do this. And then Becca, she owns Miller's Crossing. And so she used to work with DIY. She actually still retails Fusion. She owns a store. And Llewellyn from Warren to Whimsy, she's
Yes.
like Lady Bob Ross.
I was just about to say, yes, and she has had. I need to interview her someday because she has had an amazing journey as well, hasn't she?
She has. She is phenomenal. I can't even. She's just amazing. I don't even know how she does what she does. And I mean, so each one of us are equal owners in the company, and I will take on the kind of like the marketing, like a CMO type job, like a marketing officer, chief marketing officer, or public relations, marketing, stuff like that. So we kind of all sat down. We had a really long meeting yesterday about what is everybody's strengths and weaknesses, what do we want for the company, where do we see going forward. And so I'm super excited because I think it's going to be really, really, it's going to be great.
I think it's brilliant. I love Annie Sloan, and she obviously was the original, the artist who then created the paint and the paint company. And this is what you guys are doing. You are the artists, you have the company, and you are creating the paints, and you know what we need.
Yes.
And what we like.
Yeah. And I'm taking all the experience that I have, and I like to listen to what people have, their input, and hey, you tell me what you think. So for me, my goal is to create an environment that's inclusive. And so I can still use other paints if I want. Daydream is it's only got a select number of colors, right? So I still want to be able to pull off my shelf that Annie Sloan that I like, and the colors that maybe I aren't in the line yet, and then see where that goes from there. But, I want to be able to have relationships with other people. And what was super overwhelmingly amazing was the amount of messages I got from people who are paint company owners, and we're so proud of you, and things like that. So we're all doing this together. I mean, obviously, you want everyone to love your paint, but that's not realistic. Each paint has their own place in this world. And so I just want I want artists to feel happy. I want people to feel like they can use what they want to use. Genuinely.
Absolutely. So absolutely. A friend of mine, Quita Allen, and Quita, she mentors me, and she's like, I can't do her accent. I want to try. Will I try? Girlfriend? No, she'll
girlfriend. Just do what you want to do. Yeah.
Why you say that? There's no rules.
There's no rules.
Right, Quita, there's no rules.
She's Texas, so she's got that.
She's like, use milk paint, mix it. Use your milk paint, use your chalk paint, use your mineral paint, use it all. Use it all in the one.
Use whatever you want.
So she's like, stop. There's no rules. And I think that has stuck by me as well. When I'm doing pieces, just no rules.
Just use what you want and be happy. And there's
because I do a lot of mixed media, but I do think that mixed media can be mixed media of the actual paint you're using. I do, yes, absolutely. There's different textures, and it's just the different paints. So I love that I love that you're, not that you're aware of this, but I love that that's what you're saying. That you're saying, yes, we're going to do this, but we're also not going to shut ourselves off. We're going to support other brands, and we're going to support artists, and we're going to support you lot. I just love it. I'm so excited for it.
Well, we're super, another thing that we had talked about is, kind of expanding outside of the furniture painting world. Like you said, highlighting mixed media and highlighting, canvas artists, because there's this whole world out there. There's this whole world out there that.
I do canvases. I don't really show them. But I do them, and I do a lot of acrylic on paper. Paintings are all over the house. But the likes of this is one of my. Now I've only started this. This is canvas. It's going to be a portrait. But the first thing I do is get the texture down, and it's not all textured because I want it to look 3-dimensional, and so I love that you're talking about canvas art, different art. Because I do use a lot of things that aren't really meant for furniture on furniture, so I'm sure other people do as well.
Yeah, I just did a piece where I and I'm sure you've probably done this before. So I just did a piece where I actually took kosher salt and I was mixing it into the paint. And I know that there's other people who have done it, but people were like, "You can actually use salt?" And I was like, "You can use whatever you want." I used talcum powder. Yeah, people were using sawdust back in the day. They were using sawdust.
A friend of mine is a furniture artist, and she still uses sawdust.
Yeah.
She mixes it with not shellac, but she mixes it with a stain, and she uses it to and glue. So she mixes it with a stain and glue, and uses it as a filler. She doesn't.
Yes.
She doesn't use it any like Dixie mud or wood filler. She makes her own sawdust, a bit of wood stain, and some glue. And I like.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you said, long ago, people used sawdust and whatever they could find.
I'll tell you what happened. Hold on, I'm gonna unplug my thing. I don't know why my phone is not. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can still hear you.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you what happened at the masterclass. There was a mix-up, right? So we had, a lot of times people don't see what's going on behind the scenes and, things that go wrong. And so we were supposed to get salt wash, which is a texture additive.
Yes.
And there was a mix-up, and she thought we meant salt water, which is a color in Llewellyn's line. And so she's like, yeah, I brought a couple jars of salt water. And I'm like, oh man, I need salt wash for this. Well, it just so happens that we were in Florida. And so Charlie's daughter was at the beach. And I was like, hey, can you ask your daughter to get me a bag of sand from the beach?
Yeah.
And she did. And I used literally the sand from the beach on the
great texture.
Yes, and there was like a little tiny seashell that was stuck in it. I left it because I was like, that is so cool.
That is cool. Yeah, that is cool.
That's what I call innovative thinking.
Yes, it is. Yes, yeah. There is, I think, builder's sand you can use as well.
Yeah.
I remember it now. I think I'm going back. I'm showing my age. So years and years ago, you could have put builder's sand into your paint for your walls.
Yes.
So it's like a cord. It's not fine sand. It's in between sand. And then you done your borders. That's how long ago you done your borders with this emulsion paint that had the sand in it. And when you had your wallpaper, and then you had this border of textured paint, and then you had another paper, and you painted then whatever contrasting color to the paper, you painted this textured paint on your walls. But now I'm going back to the 80s, like really early 80s, when that was a thing and everyone was doing it in their houses.
I was only like 5 back then, so.
I wish. I think I was old enough to have hangovers, so definitely was not 5. It definitely was not 5. So that's really exciting. So you've went within a short space of time.
I know, it's been a wild ride. I don't even know what's going to happen next.
I know, furniture artist to brand ambassador to this to that to now part owner of a paint company. You are coming. We'll talk about Painters Business Academy. We've been talking for half an hour already. Yeah. Would you believe it? So the Painters Business Academy. So do I. I talk a lot. We didn't say in September. We'll be like, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So the Painters Business Academy, for anyone watching that doesn't know, it is in Derby in England, and it's the first weekend of September. And are you coming now? Because I think when you were initially coming, you were coming as Crys Dawna. Are you now coming as Daydream?
So or are you both? So I still, and that's the question that a lot of people ask is Bella Renovare going to take a back seat? No, absolutely not. No. So I'm still, and the women that, are you getting feedback?
Nope.
Okay. So the women that are part of the company, we all respect each other's own personal, path. Mm-hmm. So that's really been super important. That was very important for me going into it and being an owner is what do you expect from me? And so that was really great. So what Sarah and Kate have done actually is I was going to come on Saturday morning on the stage. That was when Crys Dawna, Bella Renovare, was going to come on and, paint and kind of talk about my journey and answer questions. And then Daydream was going to be right after that. But Natasha and Becca had gotten sick and it was it's too much for them to travel. And I'm here. So I'm just going to take that whole time and
brilliant.
Just kind of talk about, the business, things like that. And maybe talk a little bit about Daydream and
I think a lot of people probably love your take on marketing because, it's a big thing, isn't it? Especially in social media now. And that's where a lot of people's work is amazing, but they're not getting it out there enough. Yes. And so I'm really looking forward to that. and the
Do you know
dead
I
showing.
have a group too?
No, did not.
Yes.
No.
So I actually have a group where I started it in May. So for years, people would ask me, hey, can you please do like a paid membership group where you teach people how to market, some of your
Yeah,
paint techniques. I also am a woodworker. So how to use tools, how to do this. And
yeah.
so I finally caved. So I've had it since May, and there's about 100 people in it. And so I teach people how to market themselves, how to brand themselves,
Fantastic.
all of that stuff. Yeah. So
That's brilliant. And so, if anyone's watching this, is there spaces, or do you just open it every now and again?
yeah, so I'm going to probably open it up again in mid-September,
Okay.
just for like 3 or 4 days
Yeah.
to kind of open it. And then I'll close it, because what I like to do, my goal is to be able to make it more intimate. I get to know the people that are in the group, where they're
Yeah.
at, their journey. And I didn't want it to be too much. And so I've been really able to, and the group is amazing because the people are just awesome with each other. And, there's so much just knowledge. There's distributors. I've got a paint company owner from Australia in there. People from all over the world are in there, the UK, Germany, the States,
Yeah.
Canada, I mean, everywhere. So, and so I wanted to make sure that we all got to know each other as a
Yes.
community first. And so that's why I closed it. And then I'll open it back up in a couple days, or for a couple days. And then I'm going to move back to the US in February. And so I won't open it up again until after that move and everything is kind of, I've got
Yeah,
my
but
head on.
I think with the smaller groups, and especially if they're long established and everyone in them has a friendship,
Yes.
because I think that's what happens in smaller groups. People can become quite close. My friend Shona Murphy, she has a group, and in her group, it started out all about business, about photography, and now it's not, now because everyone's been in there over a year and they're all really great friends. It's now a lot more than just a group about furniture paint. It's a lot more.
Yes.
And everyone carries everyone else, and if somebody's feeling down, everyone swoops in and carries them along until they're feeling better. So yeah, I know exactly what you mean by and I know exactly what you mean by keeping it small, that everyone knows each other, and that everyone builds up a friendship and a rapport, and people start to care about other members. I think that's the smaller groups, you get a lot of people care about other members and check in on them.
I've got people that carry all different types of paints, all different brands. It's not, it's just a really positive, really good group that I'm proud of it, and I'm proud of the relationships, and I'm glad that I took that step, because it was scary for me, because I was like,
absolutely.
Will I be able to teach these people? Will I be able to give them everything that they need? And I've got people that are just starting, to people who, like I said, are distributors, paint company owners.
Yeah.
So it's very, for me, what's really important with anything that I do in life is that people feel valued and they feel like they are included. It's inclusive.
Yeah.
It's, I never want someone to feel like they don't belong in anything that I do. And so that's super important for me in painting and going to shows, and, the group that I have, and, now this new adventure being an owner, it's super important for me.
What's the name of your group?
It's a Creative Chaos with Crys Dawna.
Okay. So then, so if anyone wants to be in your group, if they just send you a message, have you a waiting list, or do you just put it on your page when the group's going to open?
Yeah, so I'll put it on the page, so it'll come out on the Bella Renovare by Crys Dawna page. I feel like on my website there might be a wait list thing. I'll have to talk to the guy that does my website.
Yeah, and have a look.
But I will, I'll end up announcing it. And like I said, I think it's gonna reopen. Hold on a second. Let me get my calendar.
Okay.
I'll tell you for sure. So we've already got it set up. Like, he's got it on his calendar and everything. So, and it's gonna be right after I come to the Business Academy, the Painters Business Academy. So it'll open back up on the 12th of September, and then it'll close on the 15th of September.
Oh, it's a very short window. Well, for anyone watching this, the link to Crys Dawna's page will be either above this video or below this video, or in the comments. It'll be there anyway. And if you are really keen, drop Crys Dawna a message and ask to be in the waiting list if there is none. Yes. And keep your eye out, for the page.
You could always message me. I'll write your name down and send you a private message too if someone really wants me to. You know, I know people get busy, life gets busy, social media, and you know, you think things. I mean, you've been following me and watching me, and you didn't even know I had a group. So like things fall.
No, I didn't.
Cracks and.
Yeah, no, honestly, I didn't. I watch you mainly. It's mainly Instagram, really.
Yeah.
And then lives, doing any lives. But when you click onto a live and I watch you doing something, I say, oh yeah, I didn't. I wondered how she did so many layers and rub back and all. But then you don't go looking. You know, do you know what I mean? You just watch that live. You don't go looking and clicking. So yeah, definitely.
I have a YouTube channel. You can go back and look at everything.
Yeah, I love YouTube for that. I watch it in bed. I'm so sad. Everybody goes to bed and watches movies or read books. I get into bed and I watch other people painting furniture, even though I've done it all day.
My husband, that's what my husband does. He lays in bed and watches YouTube. So my YouTube has actually grown a lot. I started doing it a few years ago, but then I really honed in on it about a year and a half ago, and it's at like, I want to say 86,000 subscribers or something.
Wow.
Like that. Yeah,
it's a lot. That is a lot. That's a lot.
Like, everyone's here to watch this hot mess show, I guess. So it's kind of cool because, you know, I do things differently. I do a lot of color, so it's really nice to be able to share that with people and you know, inspire. And
yeah, and what then? It's like there's an awful lot has went on. What for the future?
I don't even
What's
know.
your plans? Or just wait to see what else comes around the corner?
I don't know. I feel like, you know, I do all the social media. I do this. I do that. I mean, who knows? I feel like maybe I should have like a show on TV, but obviously I would be like on like the channel that they don't want people to be on because I'm such a wild person, you know what I mean? Like, they're like late night TV show of like the wildness, because you don't know, you can't trust me. So you don't know if I'm going to say like a cuss word, or you don't know.
That would be pretty cool. I think America has more of those little independent channels. We don't have that here. We really don't have.
No, I know, because German radio, like they don't censor anything, and so it is.
Do they not?
Yeah, they don't censor anything. So when you go to the States, you get like the censored version of the songs on the radio, whereas here, it's like, all the things.
So Germany is desensitizing you for when you go home.
I know.
You'll be saying things that people are like,
"Oh, she's so bad."
Yeah, why is she saying that?
Yeah. I can't lie. I was active duty military, and I worked with all men. So like, that's not, you know, I always say like, there's no ability to offend me. I have no, I've heard it all.
Heard everything before by bigger men than you.
Yes.
Well, that's wonderful. Listen, I'm going to let you go. It's been 40 minutes. And thank you so much for doing this. And I shall see you in person in September.
Yes, I can't wait. You're a hugger, because I am.
Sorry?
I hope you're a hugger, because I am.
Yes.
You're getting a hug, even if you don't want me to.
Oh, no, I'm a hugger. I'm a hugger. Yes, no, yes. And I have warned all the men. All the men folk that are going, I've warned them all. I'm a hugger. I'm going to touch you. Be prepared.
Yes.
Don't fight it. Don't fight it.
Language.
Yeah, I'm just saying them, don't fight it. Just go with it. Well, listen, it was lovely. And thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
I can't wait to give you a hug in like a couple weeks, actually.
I know. I need to get my finger out and get organized. I haven't even my flights booked or anything. I need to do all that.
You better get there.
Yeah.
Helena, get on.
I know.